Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. At Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple, habit-based approach. We know that helping your clients become the best and healthiest versions of themselves isn't just about what they eat or coming to the gym a few hours a week. We, as gym owners and coaches, have to focus on a holistic approach, looking at support systems, stress management, sleep, mindset, lifestyle, and of course, exercise and nutrition. I'm your host, Nicole Coyne, registered dietitian and founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring. I'm also the author of The Basics of Nutrition Coaching, CrossFit Preferred Nutrition course. In this podcast, I'm going to teach you how to make one step at a time to becoming the best nutrition coach and building an awesome habit-based coaching program. I'm so excited to have today's podcast guest on. His name is Jason Khalipa, and he is the founder of NC Fit, a global fitness brand with brick and mortar locations, corporate wellness, and digital services. He has the NC Fit Collective. We use that at our gym. In this podcast, we talk all about his journey from athlete to gym owner to now helping so many other gyms deliver professional coaching experience and coach development. I talk about his passion for building a successful business so that you have the means to support coaches and also do other things with the money to help more people and impact more people in the community. It was an amazing conversation, and we'll get to it right after this message. Are you looking to save time and not reinvent the wheel when it comes to building a nutrition coaching program? Is nutrition the missing piece of the puzzle in your business? Are you looking to take an informal conversation or a nutrition challenge into a formal coaching program? Awesome. I would love to help you. By building a professional coaching program in your gym, you're going to be able to increase client results, retention, and add a revenue stream. It is a triple win for you, your business, and your clients. HSN Mentoring is a turnkey solution to help you do all of this and help you save time and not reinvent the wheel. If you are a gym owner, click the link in the show notes and go ahead and book a free call. During this call, I'll talk to you about what your goals are, what you're wanting, and see if HSN Mentoring is the right fit for you. If you are a nutrition coach or want to be a nutrition coach, contact your gym owner and book a call together. We need the gym owner to be on these calls. We need the decision maker to be a part of the conversation, to have buy-in from all parties. All right, let's get to this conversation with Jason Khalipa from NC Fit. Make sure you stay tuned until the end, where we talk about some of the perspective that we use at HSN Mentoring that aligns with what we talk about in this podcast. Jason, welcome to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. We've been having some great conversations lately. So now we get to do it on a podcast form. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, we've been following you guys for a while. You did an event at Wodapalooza for gym owners like 2017, 2016. I think that's the first time I heard you speak. And I was like, this guy is really professional. I just want to follow him and see what he's doing. And it's been super impressive to watch everything that you guys have been able to do and the impact that you've had, and specifically the CrossFit community over the years.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, look, I got started. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but my first exposure to fitness was like a business side. And then I found CrossFit, got into training, got into that. So I did come from a different background than many people. A lot of people got into it. They were introduced to CrossFit, training, changed their life. They opened a gym. For me, I was introduced to, I started off working at a conventional gym when I was like 15, 16 at the front desk.
Okay.
And I had some great mentors there that then I would meet with. Once I graduated from high school, I started working there in college full-time doing sales. And that's where I kind of like got more involved in the fitness space.
That makes so much sense to me of why everything is laid out and how professional you guys are, because it is not the path that most CrossFit affiliate owners take at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a different take, right? So for me, like I said, when I graduated from high school, I started working full-time at this health club in sales. And I had some great mentors there who taught me a bunch of stuff about the art of selling. And, I love that. But then I also felt disconnected from the products. I didn't think people were getting the results they were looking for. And so, in 2006 or so, I found CrossFit, which was, I graduated from, this is going to age me. Let me see. I graduated college in 2008. I found CrossFit in 2006. And so I knew over those next 2 years, I wanted to open up some type of gym. I thought at the time I wanted to open up a conventional gym, but when I found the idea of a coach and a community, that's what really drove me. But before I ever opened up any gym of any type, I had a lot of exposure for years to the business side.
Okay, that makes sense. And then when were you a games athlete? Because at some point you went to the games, and then was that before or after you were an affiliate owner?
Yes, I started. I went to the games. So I competed at the CrossFit Games from 2008 till 2016. And I won the CrossFit Games in 2008. And I also opened up our gym in 2008. So yeah, I
busy year.
Yeah, and people, they might think like, oh, he opened up a gym because he won the CrossFit Games. I actually had signed the lease before the CrossFit Games, and it definitely didn't hurt winning the CrossFit Games. And I won them pretty much in my backyard. The Aromas, where I won the games, was like 45 minutes from my house. And so, but I had already had a lease signed before I had won the CrossFit Games, and then I did both for a long time.
Got it. Okay, so let's talk about NC Fit. So you opened that up in 2008, right? What was the vision when you opened NC Fit? What were you wanting to accomplish?
Yeah. So originally when I opened up the gym, it was originally called CrossFit Santa Clara. That was like the first ever. Okay. Then we opened up CrossFit Mountain View. Then we opened up, then basically we're like, hey, look, we can't keep having these separate brands. We need to be underneath one brand. So we came underneath NorCal CrossFit. And then years later in 2016, we wanted to be more indicative of the different programs we offered in the gym. And we were doing a lot of corporate wellness and a lot of different things. So we rebranded in NC Fit. And so that's kind of like the branding strategy. But from like what we want to do from day one, and this is still something that's really important to me today, is like do what I love, do what I want to do for a living, like, and help people make an impact, and then provide that opportunity to as many coaches and team members as I can. And then as a byproduct, you're going to impact way more members. And then with all those big the membership base, then go out and go do really good stuff for your community, like, blood drives, philanthropic efforts, whatever. So that was always the motto. It was like this, like kind of like start from the center, which is like do what you love and impact as many people. Then you grow your team to do that, which then expands the amount of people you can impact, which then expands how many greater people you can impact. So that was always the kind of like the concept. And it always from the beginning was about making sure we were profitable. It was always about making sure we were profitable, because I didn't think money was a bad thing back then. I still don't think it is today, because it allows you to go do things and take care of your team. And I don't think you have to be mutually exclusive to say you want to offer an excellent service and really treat your members as the number one, while also trying to run a profitable business, because I think they both work really well together in the long run.
I think so many gym owners are scared of this piece. And it makes sense they're even saying this, knowing that you have the sales background that you have, right? And I listen to so many gym owners' stories when I go to events or go speak at different places, and they work so hard. They're wearing so many different hats. They're not valuing how much they should charge. And then COVID happens or something else happens, and then they have to shut their doors and they're no longer able to impact anyone. What would you say to those people?
Yeah, I'd say that's exactly right. It's from day one, you want to treat your business like a business and not a hobby. And I remember really early on in CrossFit, when I was opening a second location, people were giving me, grief about it. And I was like, we could impact more members, provide for more coaches. What is wrong here? I just don't understand. And, when gym owners come up to me and we're talking about business, they have goals and aspirations of impacting people's lives. They have goals of giving back philanthropically. They have goals of supporting their coaches. But none of those goals are possible unless you first are running a sound business. If you're not making profit, you can't go do philanthropic efforts. And so at the heart of everything needs to be treating your business like a business. Then if you decide you want to go give back everything you make, go for it. But if you're not making anything, there's nothing to give back. And I think that's the difference in the mindset, is that when I talk about money or profitability, I'm not talking about it in terms of like, I think there's like this idea that's like sleazy to talk about sales or money. But the reality is, unless your company is doing that, it'll never reach its potential. And then if you decide that you want to go do different things with your money, go for it. Like, for example, we are big into blood drives, but we can't host blood drives unless we had a location to host it. Or we're big into giving back to philanthropic efforts like pediatric cancer, because my daughter had leukemia. but we can't give back to that unless we generate revenue. You know what I mean? It's a big circle. And I think if you look at it through that lens, it's not a bad thing to talk about sales.
Absolutely. And it, even more importantly, you need to train your team to be comfortable talking about sales, because I'm positive if I go into your gym, I'm not going to see you there all day, every day doing all of the free intros, right?
No, we have a good team. We have a great team who, understands kind of like, and there's also a thing to think about. Like if you're a gym owner and you're listening, you're like, okay, I get what he's saying. When you think about the word sales, a lot of people think like it's negative, but if you really believe, like I honestly believe that our gyms can change your life. I truly believe that. I believe that if you come into our gym, you stay consistent, you'll get in the best shape of your life and you'll be able to keep up with your grandkids 50 years from now. That's what I believe. So if I really believe that, why wouldn't I be sharing that with as many people as possible and just screaming from the hilltops about it? And that's all really sales is getting people to come in the door and letting them know you have a solution to a problem, which is them trying to get in better shape to keep up with their kids. So I think it's just a different way of framing it. And sometimes people just need that little extra nudge to get them in. Like we do this thing called 3 for 30, which I think is a great option, which is 3 visits for $30. And we're not trying to hard sell anybody. We're just trying to have them come in, experience the value. And most of the time when they see it, they'll convert into members.
Do you sit down with them at some point between like the visit number 1 and visit number 3 to talk to them about their goals, what they're wanting, what success looks like, to guide them to a membership option? Because we had a conversation at one point and you were talking about your membership prices that people pay like $250-ish. 220. Okay. 226. Do you sit down with those people? I'm just curious for personal reasons. From session 1, I come in for my 3 for 30. Am I sitting down with anyone before the third session's up?
No, I think, so our current flow is that someone comes in, let's just say they're a new lead, they sign up for a 3 for 30. We have a woman who's incredible and she'll reach out to them and say, hey, welcome, come into the gym. Now, when they come into the gym for their experience, the coach knows that it's their first, second, or third experience. We already have that all tracked. And so then they could discuss them. What we do is we do 10-minute buffers at the end of each class. So it gives, we don't go back-to-back classes. So it gives 10 minutes for them to engage with them. Now, once you become a member, we have an onboarding process now that includes what you're talking about. Maybe there's a gap there that we could be doing that before they make the buying decision. Maybe that's an area of improvement for us, and we should look into it. But currently, the salesperson's role and the coach's role in the gym should be to mutually get that solution answer. But we could maybe do a better job now that you're bringing it up.
The only reason I'm saying that is if and when you guys ever add nutrition, which I know it's a conversation that you plan on, people are coming to you thinking that just the gym's going to solve their problem, right? And if you want to get them started with nutrition, fitness, accountability on day 1, having a sit down conversation with it does make it more effective. But back to you. All right.
No, that's great. No, I appreciate it. And that's the thing about our business, right? It's funny. I was just on a call earlier, and one of our core values at NC Fit is this idea of never settling. And it's just constantly trying to evolve and improve. And the company we are today is not what we should be 5 years from now. And if it is, then we're doing something wrong. And if a gym owner is listening that's doing the exact same thing they're doing 5 years ago with the exact same revenue, exact same membership base, if that's something that's providing them fulfillment, dude, hell yeah. But if they're not happy with the current situation, we have to make changes. And one of the things that we're thinking about at NC Fit is like, what could we do to better enhance our membership experience, our collective experience, all of these things? It's really important to us. So like you bringing that up is something I'm going to bring back to the team.
Cool. Awesome. I think at the end of the day, we've all dedicated our lives to helping people get healthy, and we all want them to do it the most efficient way possible. And I think every gym owner agrees, hey, if we're addressing nutrition, if there's extra accountability and support, in addition to functional fitness, man, people are going to see results so much faster. You guys offer a lot of different things. You mentioned the collective. I know you have locations. I know people license. Is it licensing or a franchise with NC Fit? How do you personally stay focused with all of those things going on?
Well, we have a really good team. So yeah, at NC Fit, we have brick and mortar. It's really important to us. We will always have brick and mortar. It's very important to me to have brick and mortar because that's where I started and that's what I love. I love going to the gym. I love being with our members. It's very important to me. From there, we have licensed locations that utilize the NC Fit mark. We then also have what are called the NC Fit Collective, which is our session plans and programming, which we have some super exciting things happening in 2023, which is really a byproduct, like a grassroots approach. Like we're in our gyms with some of the best coaches I've ever met every day, trying to provide the best solution for our members. And then what we do is we take that knowledge that we're gaining, and we have a full team that then distributes content from session plans, programming, and videos to all these gyms that use it around the world that maybe don't have the same staff or et cetera that we have, so that we could scale that. And then we have our end user digital app, which is, an app available for users at the gym or in the garage. And then we have corporate wellness. That's kind of what builds up the NC Fit model. And the way that I kind of have been able to do what we're doing is we have a really good team. You've been able to meet a few of them, and I'd put our team up against any other team in the world in regards to, from a business perspective. They're just really, really great. And that's what allows us to do it.
I love it. Let's talk about the Collective for a second. Healthy Steps Nutrition, our HQ location's been using the Collective for a couple of years now. I think 2 or so years. We've done a bunch of different ones. That was one thing when we opened up the gym. I told Jason, my husband, I was like, we need to not do programming. Like, that's not our specialty. Let's hire someone else that, like, this is their full-time focus. And we went through a few different ones, but I will say that the Collective has the most amount of resources to develop coaches. And at the end of the day, if your life as a gym owner is easier because someone else is doing the legwork to help develop your coaches and you're just there to support, it just makes life so much easier. Is that how the Collective kind of came about? You guys were doing it and then you saw a need. Other gyms maybe were asking you like, hey, can you help me with programming? How did the Collective come about?
That's exactly what it was. So we have locations currently today in, like 8 different countries. And so we were thinking about is, how do we provide? And at the time when we started the Collective, we actually had a location. The one that really sparked it for me was we had a location in Cabo, Mexico. We had locations in the Bay Area. We had some in Minnesota. We had some overseas in China. And I remember one week, I was in China one week, Mexico the next week, and Bay Area the next week. And I'm like, dude, we are not having a consistent experience between these different locations. This is not okay for me. How are we going to provide the most consistency across the board? And at the time, we were using Google Docs and stuff for the workout, but we weren't providing in-depth plans. And that's when it really, struck me that we're not trying to be like Starbucks where everything is exactly the same, but we want it as close to that as humanly possible. Meaning we want to create these guardrails, kind of like bowling, right? Where, you have like those bumpers on each side where you might have a better coach or a worse coach, and you might have a better experience and a worse experience, but it's not going to be like completely terrible and, off the rails. And that's what the in-depth session plans and programming does for us, is it gives our coaches similar structure to teach off of. And that was the inspiration for us. So then we created it for ourselves, and then we ended up selling it to other gym owners.
Right. We happen to be one of those people. One of the things I love about the Collective that's different from any of the other program that we've purchased from in the past is the videos for every day. Like your team, obviously you guys invest quite a bit of time and effort into creating professional content, but the videos, just to make it super easy, like, hey, here's some tips. Here are some things to focus on. Here are some special things. Like there was a cue that one of our coaches told us this week. I went in for a workout. I don't remember what workout it was, but it was like, put a kettlebell on your stomach and press up. And it was teaching people to like stay with their core engaged. I was like, well, that is a really good way for someone to physically feel how it should feel. I think maybe before picking up deadlifts or something. And those types of things are little tips and tricks that most gym owners and coaches are not going to get unless they're traveling to a bunch of CrossFit gyms and hearing other people say those cues that they could take back to their own gyms.
Yeah, well, thank you. I think for us, yes, it's the videos, and by the way, we have some really cool updates coming into 2023 that are super exciting. But, if I'm like consulting for a gym, as a gym owner, you wear so many different hats, right? And like, even while we're talking to you about nutrition, we wear so many different hats. We do not want to take on nutrition by ourselves. We want to go and talk to someone that's been doing it and has the processes so that we could just boom, turnkey. And the same thing goes for programming. A gym owner wears so many hats, but the one that they love is probably writing programs. But just because they love it doesn't mean they should be doing that as a priority, right? Is you only have so much time in the day. And so for us at our team, we have a group of coaches specifically here in the Bay Area. And I want to say that probably at least 12 specific coaches are helping to curate this content on a regular basis. And because it goes through so many different checks and balances with different people that actually coach, that's how you get the different tips. It's like going to 12 different gyms every single week. is because people bring different feedback that they're thinking about from their locations. So I think that's what separates us, is that we're running, will our programs help people get to the CrossFit Games if they want to go there? Sure. We have a compete track that then plays off of our current programming, which I think is a great solution. But I also think if you're a gym, yes, you want to send people to, regional qualifiers. Gotcha. We're good there. We've been there many times. But we also have a program that is good for a gym that's just looking to run a very solid class that helps them create a profitable location. And that's where I think we really thrive. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. For us, we don't have super competitive people at our gym. We're not a competitive gym. We're just trying to get people healthy and fit and have a great time for an hour, But if someone's thinking about outsourcing programming, I would say, how many hours a month do you take writing programming? And the amount that you would pay an expert who spends a lot of time and effort building out a professional program delivery is well worth it compared to the amount of hours that you're spending. You guys integrate with NC Fit. I know you integrate with a few others. So it literally is like a click of a button for us every single week to get the programming and have it be able to be delivered to our clients. Super easy. You've been a gym owner for a long time. What are some of the mistakes that you think gym owners make early on or even later down the line?
I mean, that list continues to grow for me. I'd say, again, it's more of a mindset shift that I'm going to approach my business like a business and not a hobby. It's really one of those things where you sit down and you say, hey, I chose to be an entrepreneur. I chose to take on this role. No one made me become a gym owner. I chose it. And with that choice comes beauty and excellence and incredible value, where you get calls from your members telling you how much you changed their life. But you also, on the flip side, have to run a for-profit business that pays people appropriately, that opens itself up to liabilities like lawsuits and whatnot. And so it's not one or the other. It's all of this that encompasses being a business owner. If you want to coach, become a coach at a very successful gym, you'll get paid well. But if you want to open up a business, you need to treat it as such. And I think the biggest mistakes that I see is when gym owners approach their business as a coach instead of as an owner. And I think that's the biggest mentality shift they need to have, is knowing their numbers so they could grow their numbers. Because if you don't know how many new leads you have, how many cancellations you have, how many current active members you have, what's your lifetime value, if you don't know these things, how can you create a plan to grow? Anyways, I could keep going on about this forever.
I think that's a
passionate subject of mine.
Clearly, it's just so important for people to understand, hey, you're going to be able to impact more people when you do take this stuff seriously. And if you don't like the numbers, hire someone to help support you in that role. My husband is really good with numbers. He handles all that. I focus on helping all the people and building a successful nutrition coaching program. He handles that. Find other people to help support your business in the areas that you are not passionate about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think, but for gym owners, we also have the best job in the world. We really do. And I can't say that enough. I love what we do. I love impacting people. And the challenges are fun and exciting, but they're also stressful. But I think that if you're a gym owner who's looking at your business and you're saying, hey, the question I ask myself all the time is am I reaching my potential? Am I reaching my potential as a husband, as a father, as a business owner, as an athlete? Those are really important things to me. And the last thing I want to do is look back and be like, man, I didn't reach our potential as a business. And so I think that if a gym owner could look at it through that lens, it's helpful, because if they're inspired to go get better at their Fran time, they should just be as inspired to go get better at their business, because they'll provide fulfillment in different ways.
Absolutely. If we look at the flip side, so mistakes around gym owners not being serious about the business side, the most successful gym owners, what would you say? When I think of NC Fit, you guys have created a really good brand, right? That it's recognizable and you deliver a professional experience. It's consistent. Now that you share that story about traveling to all those different places and it not being consistent, now that's the polar opposite, right? You guys are super consistent. What are some of the things that you think some of the most successful gyms in general are doing well?
I mean, I think it's the things we're talking about, right? They're treating their business like a business. They're looking at it through that lens. They're being non-reactive. They're thinking through where they want to go in the next 5-10 years. those are really important things. I also think that there's this level of like leadership that's something I've been trying to really focus on too, is like, if you're the owner of your gym and you're the leader, trying to practice what you preach all the time, lead by example, but give clear and concise direction to your team and let them know what the expectations are, I think is what good teams do. And it's something that we didn't do for a long time. We still have ways to improve. Like, look, we can definitely improve our brand position, our culture. We could always improve 100%. But I think one of the things that we've improved recently is this idea that, back in the day when I first started the gym, I'd be like, hey, work hard and you'll get paid more, or work hard and we'll do this. But I never quantified to people what work hard meant, or what success really was, or what the expectation was. And I think if I had done that earlier on, it would have helped alleviate some like friction that came up with employees, because they felt like they were working hard and they want to get paid more. And I didn't clearly define to them what that role and expectation was. And it was just a disconnect. And I think that we would have been able to retain or attain much better talent early on if we had just had better job descriptions, better, follow-ups about clear expectations of what success meant. I think that's what a lot of the best gyms in the world are doing right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of gym owners don't know how to manage people, or they're learning it as they're growing teams, because every one of us was like, wearing all the hats when we first opened. And you're like, oh, wait. And I can completely relate there and agree. Clarity is kindness, right? One of the things you guys have in the collective are coach evaluations. Can we spend a couple minutes just talking about that for a second?
Yeah, I mean, the coaching evaluation form is a really cool, useful tool. We have others. Job leveling criteria, I think, is a really cool tool too. But we have like a coaching scorecard. We do formal and informal reviews with our team. And so the way we're structured is like, we have a chief fitness officer, MDV, who's oversees fitness. And within that, we have a coaching director, and that coaching director then oversees different coaches. We then have a head coach at each location, et cetera. And so we do formal reviews where we actually sit down with people, we observe their class, we use the coaching scorecard and to kind of like provide that to them. We also do self-reflection evaluation forms, which I think are important as a coach to kind of like self-evaluate your performance. And the job leveling criteria, this one I'll just throw out there. I can't remember, we're adding new documents to Kajabi in our collective platform soon. It's going to be pretty exciting. But one of the ones that I'm really excited about, or at least every gym owner should think about, is this idea of job leveling criteria. And what it is you can just create this on your own. You could write like, you get paid $25 an hour if this is your criteria, $30 an hour if this is your criteria, 40, et cetera. And you could create your own criteria. That could be how many seminars, how many hours you've coached. It could be extra stuff. But what it does is when an employee comes to you and says, hey, I want to get paid more money, you say, hey, show me on the job leveling criteria what you've done to achieve this benchmark. And hell yeah, let's get you paid. And that was one of the nice things that we've been adding to our portfolio also. So I'd recommend coaches have a coaching scorecard, have a review sheet, but also then as an owner, think through what is that performance value, what is that trajectory looks like. And the more you can have it written down, the better, because you can always revert back to it.
The job leveling criteria, I haven't seen that or heard about that, which is pretty cool. It's kind of forcing coaches to want to develop themselves, right? Like, hey, not everyone's going to start off as a level 2, level 3 coach or do all these things. But if you want to get paid more, you need to put in the effort so that you're delivering essentially a better quality product or better quality service.
Yeah. And my recommendation is, I'll call Gabe after this and discuss having this available. We've put it available different places, but I think we could do a better job having even more resources available. But a gym owner could create their own. They just sit down on a piece of paper and they just think to themselves, okay, our employees right now, they're, this is a bigger question of like W-2 to 1099. Definitely you want to look into this in your local states. Most people, most of the time, should be a W-2 employee and not a contractor. That's just, anyways. But if you set it up and you create your own, hourly wages, at least then people know what they're getting themselves into. And I think that's really important, because if you can align expectations both ways, you can have people stay with you for a really long time. But if someone has an expectation to make 100 grand and your expectation of that person is to make 50 or whatever, over time, it's just going to become toxic because your expectations are off.
Right. How often, obviously you have a team of people. Most gym owners don't have the level of support staff doing all the evaluations. If you were by yourself managing the gym and you didn't have a director, how often do you recommend owners evaluate their coaches?
Well, I think, in the beginning, you're going to have a really good relationship with everybody. You're going to be really close. Actually, probably to your detriment. You might be too close. Right. And, I remember in the beginning, I when you hire your first coach, your second coach, your third coach, you're doing everything you can to make this gym successful. I think that what I would have done earlier on, and it's tough because you want to create a culture of trust and love, but you also want to create a culture of like excellence and let's move forward. So I think what I would have done, if I can go back in time, I would have set up quarterly like coaching evaluations that like were pretty professional. And then I would have set up weekly workout sessions with everybody. If I could go back in time, I would have said, hey, every Tuesday, coach, let's get together at 2 p.m. Let's crush a workout. What that does, it creates the culture, creates the buy-in, lets them know that you walk the walk, talk the talk. And then every quarter, have a little bit more of a professional kind of like, hey, man, or not, I wouldn't say, hey, man. I'm like, hey, this is your, I observed your class. This is my feedback for you. I think that's the way I would have done it if I can go back in time. Because right now, we restarted coming out of COVID, weekly coaching sessions, and it's just been super powerful. It's been so great just to connect with people from a workout perspective.
I love that. Same thing if we're relating this to nutrition, like you should be evaluating your nutrition coaches, right? And in my opinion, it's even more important in a nutrition coaching standpoint because you can jump into any class and see, is this going the way I would want my class to go? And nutrition coaching is not like that, right? Like people are behind closed doors. You don't know. Matt and I had a conversation earlier this week, and he's like, how do we ensure quality assurance for our nutrition delivery, right? I think it's a really important thing for gym owners to think about as you're planning to scale and grow your nutrition program. Are you evaluating your nutrition coaches? And if not, we can give you some support, but you definitely need to be doing that.
Well, that was one of the questions we had asked you, right? Because when we're looking at your platform, we want to be able to go in there and go evaluate, hey, are these nutrition coaches responding back in a timely manner? But then that brings up this other question of like, what is a timely manner? And that's for us to determine, right? We need to set the expectation with our nutrition coaches. Hey, a timely manner means 24 hours, right?
Yep.
Or Monday through Friday, whatever. But we need to have clear. Me back in the day would have gone on there and gotten really frustrated, really upset. Be like, this person hasn't been responded to in 6 hours. This is bullshit. But the reality is I never set the expectation that it should be 6 hours, right? I probably would just say, hey, get back to these people in a timely manner. Well, timely manner can mean different things. Yeah. So
I think learned. 24 hours is super realistic. If you end up messaging people back right away with nutrition, then they're going to expect you to answer them back, whether in line at Starbucks or they're this place or that place. And it isn't possible to deliver a consistent and scale a nutrition program and have work-life balance for nutrition coaches. Cause it's not just the 1 hour, right? It's not a 1 hour session. It's the other 23 hours of the day.
Yeah. That's good.
Awesome. Any final thoughts? And I want you to let people know where they can find you, where they can find more information about the collective, if they're looking to outsource programming.
Final thoughts? I mean, I have plenty of thoughts, but I mean, from a business perspective, I just want to watch our industry grow. I want to watch our industry thrive. I want to watch gym owners, put money away for their families, be able to buy the building that they're in and be able to support their coaches and their team. That's what I want to do. It's super important to me. And we have products to support gym owners. So of course I have a vested interest in their success, but I also just feel like from a big picture perspective, that's really important for me because the more gym owners that thrive, the more people they can impact, the better off we are as a country. And that's just the way I feel about it. So, gym owners, if you guys have any questions, if you want to check out the collective, of course, check out nc.fit, go to the gym owner page. We'd love to have you, of course. If you want to just chat with me, you can hit me up on Instagram at Jason Khalipa. You can go listen to our podcast. We have one called Effort Over Everything. Gabe and I riff on that once a week. I also have a Coffee with Khalipa, which is like this Monday morning 5-minute riff that I do about things that are on my mind. I think for gym owners, it'd probably be a good way to engage. So check out the Effort Over Everything, Coffee with Khalipa, that podcast, and hit us up at the collective at nc.fit, or go to our website. We'd love to chat with you.
Awesome. Jason, thank you for taking time this afternoon to chat with me. I've been a fan of y'all's for a long time. I think you guys do a really, really great job with everything in the collective, and I look forward to working with you more soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So many amazing nuggets in that podcast episode with Jason. He kept bringing up a consistent theme. Successful gyms, successful business owners understand the numbers. They understand that they have to be comfortable with talking about sales and really getting people to understand how you help them. If you're looking to build a professional nutrition coaching program, the best way to do that is to guide new people to get started with nutrition, fitness, and accountability. We recently hosted a one-day challenge intensive. We had tons of people from all over the world joining in on this virtual training. And the way I opened up the day was asking people, what do people want when they're coming into your facility? And I would challenge you to think about that. When people come into your business, when they sign up for your gym, what are they wanting? For our gym at our HQ location, in the conversation with all of the gyms and coaches that were on this virtual training, they said something similar. People wanted to lose weight, gain confidence, decrease body fat percentage, feel confident in their skin. They wanted to get in shape, all of these same things. And then my next question was to them, how are people going to reach results the best and fastest way possible? How are they going to reach those results? Is it through fitness only? Is it through nutrition and fitness? Is it through nutrition, fitness, and accountability? Or all of the above, right? I would venture to say, I would stand on the sword for nutrition, fitness, and accountability is going to help your clients reach the best and fastest results possible. So why wouldn't you guide those people to get started with that? Why wouldn't you offer a solution that's going to help them the fastest way possible so they see better results, they refer more people, they stay longer, and you add a revenue stream? Why wouldn't you do that? So many gym owners are nervous to ask people for the sale, but if you understand you have the solution to their problem and how their life will change, how their loved ones will be impacted, their quality of life, their confidence, everything will be impacted when they reach the results that they're looking to achieve. Stop worrying about how much you're charging. You should be not worried, but you should be confident with the value that you're providing and the solution to the problem these people have. And when you do that, you can confidently guide people and they will sign up for nutrition, fitness, and accountability. That's the best way to help people reach results. During the HSN mentoring training process, we help you with creating that front end offer. I can tell you, after helping hundreds of gyms, training so many gym owners and coaches, the best way to build a successful nutrition coaching program in a gym is to create a solid front-end offer that encompasses nutrition, fitness, and accountability. You're not reselling people later. If you're unsure how to do this, if you're looking for support and help, awesome. We would love to help you in the mentoring program. The first step of the training process is going over pricing, packaging your client journey. What are people seeing on your social media? What are they seeing in email content? What do they see from the first time they opt into your email to before they come into a free intro? They should be seeing a video of how it works in your facility, you talking about how you combine nutrition, fitness, and accountability. They should see a video coming from your nutrition coach talking about how your nutrition coaching program works, what it looks like, how it's different than other things out there. They should see a video about a success story highlighting a client that's done awesome with your service. So it's not a surprise that you're talking about nutrition and fitness and accountability in that free intro process. When you do this, you're going to be so much more successful getting new people signed up for all three. So going back to the mentoring process, we help you through that. We give you video scripts. We even role play with your sales team, with your coaches, whoever's doing the free intros, so that you can get people started with nutrition, fitness, and accountability. At the end of the day, our mission at HSN is to help 1 million people take control of their health. I know we're not going to be able to do it in our small HQ location alone. I know we need to partner with more gym owners and coaches who have their boots on the ground, who are looking to make a true impact in their community. So if you are looking for help, if you want to partner with us, we'd love to help you. Click the link in the show notes and book a discovery call with us. We would love to chat with you more to see if you are a good fit for us and we're a good fit for you. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. We have some absolutely incredible interviews coming up. Subscribe, leave us a review, and we can't wait to see you back here next week.